Recording is on.
Sarthyam
Sarthyam
Arjunasya adau
Arjunasya dau
Kurvan Gitamritam dadau
Kurvam
Kurvam
Gitamritam dadau
Gitamritam
Lokatra Upakarya
Lokatra
Lokatra
Upakarya
Upakarya
Tasmai Krishnatmane Namaha.
Tasmai
Tasmai
Krishnatmane
Krishnatmane Namaha.
Namaha.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai.
Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai.
Okay, so we have everyone from last week today. We have a fellow jester, which I believe is Sushma, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're able to switch on your video, please do. If you're not, that's okay. Karan is
Yeah,
able to.
I don't know, like while I'm speaking, video is not connecting.
Okay, no problem. And then I think the second orange K is Kalpesh itself, I believe. And A
That's
is
my other PC actually.
sure.
So
And Aditi, if you want to start your video whenever you're comfortable, no problem. Okay, so last week we discussed a brief about all the characters of Mahabharata and a little bit of background, as in the story so far. So we have been reading from chapter 1, verses 1 to 26 are termed as the first section of chapter 1, which is observing the armies or Sen and Rikshan Yoga. I'll share my screen with you. So 1 to 26, observing the armies or Sen and Rikshan Yoga. So we have done 1 to 13 preparations for war, 14 to 20 signs of victory for Pandavas, 21 to 26 Krishna as Bhakta Vatsal, or Krishna as serving his devotees. Yeah. And what is a devotee? We discussed last time. Who is a devotee? Anyone?
Arjun.
No, I agree. Arjun is a devotee here. But who is generally? What is the definition of a devotee?
One who surrenders to the God.
Okay. Surrender. How do you surrender to God? Nice answer, Karan. But how would you practically do surrender to God?
Like emotionally, spiritually, everything.
Okay, emotionally, spiritually. So how practically, how is that implemented? How do you emotionally surrender to God? Practically and emotionally and spiritually.
Through yoga.
Okay, through yoga. How do you do that yoga?
Remembering God.
Very nice. Very nice. Now you hit the nail correctly. When you think about someone, you are being devoted to that person. When you constantly think about that person, you are being devoted to that person.
Samarnam.
So constantly thinking about someone, having him in his thoughts, basically, is when you're so remembering that so when you're remembering God in good or bad times, success or failure, you're remembering God. That is devotion. Or you are you are a devotee in those terms. Now, after that, the pure devotee is a different level altogether. But the first level is being a devotee. So when we talk about devotees, there are devotees and there are pure devotees. So first, someone has to become a devotee. So always think about God. So people who think about people, or people who think about events, or people who think about gatherings, people who think about other people's mistakes, people who think about other people's good things, they are devoted to apacharikata or formalities or relationships. They're not devoted to the Lord. When there is a calamity, when there is a problem, you think about God. You surrender to Him by your thoughts. You surrender. That is devotion. When there is something good, you glorify Him. You think about God. That is devotion. Yeah, that is the first understanding as a devotee. You are always in the thoughts of the Lord. Okay, so that is the Krishna as Bhaktavatsala means someone who thinks about Krishna. Krishna is devoted to him. So he serves his devotees. So it is said that Arjuna was fully devoted to Krishna. It is said that when his breath also, every breath, he used to think about Krishna. Every breath he was actually, his breath used to talk Krishna. It was said like that, every breath was devoted to Krishna. That was Arjuna. So that is the reason he got a direct knowledge and the direct advice from Krishna himself. No one else. You see, so Bhagavad Gita wasn't spoken directly to anyone but Arjuna. Very luckiest person, because he was devoted to Krishna. He was fully devoted to Krishna. Always he would think Krishna and Supreme. That's why Krishna spoke to him. So anything from the last discussion which anyone has not understood, you can raise it now. Otherwise, we will continue just the overlap from 1.24, which we had decided last time. So what is 1.24? 1.24. What are the important aspects in that verse? Before we move on to from 1.28.
So on the request of Arjun, Krishna took the chariot in between the two armies.
Correct. So the words which were used here were Rishikesh and Gudakesh. So who's Rishikesh?
Krishna.
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 Lord
Okay.
Krishna.
Now I'll ask this question to Sushma. Who is Gudakesh? Any guesses?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. Are you on that verse 1.24 by any chance?
I'm on 1.1. So let me
1.
open that.
Okay. So if you go to 1.24, we will overlap these verses so that you can so that we can start from 1.28 today. So that is where we were before you had joined. So in 1.24, there are two names given, Rishikesha and Gudakesha. So Rishikesh, everyone has answered, is Krishna. If you want to guess who's Gudakesha?
Arjun.
Good, very nice. And anyone, why is he known as Gudakesha?
So is it because he can actually fight even in the sleep?
It's because he has
Gudakesha,
conquered his sleep.
yeah, Gudakesha means who has conquered his sleep, who has a grip over his sleep.
Right.
So Isha means Ishwar. So when we say Rishikesha, Rishik Isha. So Rishikesha means the one who is lord of the senses. Gudakesha means who is the lord of the sleep. Someone who is lorded over the sleep is Gudakesha. But in this, it is his own sleep, not anyone else's. So he's lorded over, he is a lord of his own sleep. That means he can actually control, he has mastered his sleep. So he can do anything with the sleep. So the background is that when, have I discussed this before about Arjun? Kamakshi? How he became Gudakesha?
Prabhuji, we have discussed, but I don't remember very clearly what exactly it was.
Okay. Karan, do you know how he became Gudakesha? How did
Sorry,
he lord it
Prabhuji.
over the sleep? No? Okay, fine.
No idea.
Okay. Randhir, do you remember how he became Gudakesha? Or we have not? The reason I'm asking is just want to make sure that whether we discuss this or not, that to how he became Gudakesha. No? Aditi?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Abhijit? Did we
Sir,
discuss this, that how he became Gudakesha?
yes. We
Prabhuji,
had
I think, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
discussed,
Yes.
and I think so. You had told us about Dronacharya instructing the people in the school not to
The
allow
Gurukula.
Arjun to
Yeah.
eat in the dark.
Very nice.
Then afterwards, he changed. There is a pastime behind this.
Sorry, I think
Suddenly,
we have some background noise somewhere.
Yeah, can we only unmute someone who is speaking, and rest please go on the mute, please. Thanks.
So Dronacharya had asked the people in the school not to allow Arjun to eat in the dark, and suddenly, while Arjun was having food, suddenly there was a wind, due to which the lights went off, and
Right.
then he realized that he could eat in the dark. That means he can not only sleep in the dark, but he can practice in the dark, and then the process started
Very
of him
nice.
becoming.
Yeah. So when he realized that he can eat in the dark, he realized that he can fight in the dark. So because he was so passionate about archery, about martial arts, so he didn't want it to stop even at night. That's why he was the best archer. Even Dronacharya considered him as the best student, best archer in the world. So this is the quality of Arjun, that he was so passionate about doing his duty or doing what he liked to do. So Bhagavad Gita is not spoken to a person who's complacent. So Bhagavad Gita is not that, you have to leave your house, everything, all your family, and then you start reading Bhagavad Gita because you are detaching from everything. No, it is for the people who like to work, who like to do things which they like to do. They're passionate about doing things. So it is spoken to such a person, Arjun, who was a natural Kshatriya, who liked to fight. So that's why when he realized that he can eat in the dark, he started practicing at night. So in the daytime, the Gurukula, he used to learn from his guru, and the night he used to practice that and try to invent new techniques. So this is how he became the best archer. So his sleep, it is said that Arjun, even if he's sleeping, nobody can attack him, even while he's sleeping. Sound sleep, and he will hit back. So that is how it is described, that he was so active, even while sleeping. So that is why his name was Gudakesha. So to that Gudakesha, Rishikesha, that is Krishna, served him by accepting his orders. So in 1.24, it is Arjun who tells Krishna to take him in the middle of the armies. So he's telling the Lord, you take me in the middle of the armies. So Krishna accepts it, and he, by doing that, becomes Bhaktavatsal. That means he serves his devotee and takes a chariot in the midst of the army. Okay, so that is 1.24.
I have one question actually. So
Who's
when we
this?
are
Sorry.
saying this is Sushma, I don't know, my
Yes,
name
Sushma.
is also not displaying there.
Yeah, that's okay.
Something is
That's okay. No
problem.
problem, Sushma. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So when we are saying Arjuna is the lord of sleep, then in that case, what we call Kumbhakarna?
Oh, okay. Kumbhakarna was considered to be in the mode of ignorance. Sleeping more than what is required is called ignorance.
Okay.
So there are people like who are Chandravanshis. This is a bit sarcastic. So there are Chandravanshis who wake up before the sun rises. So they wake up when the moon is still there. So they are considered to be the best. And then there are somewhere in the middle, between Chandravanshis and the other ones who are Suryavanshis, who wake up when the sun goes on top of their head. So we should avoid
Okay.
being Suryavanshi. But the ones who even sleep when the sun sets, they sleep till the time when the sun rises and the sun set. Those people are called Kumbhakarna because they're completely ignorant. They want to sleep and sleep and sleep. They just want to
Okay.
sleep. The sleeping is a mode of ignorance. If you sleep more, you are considered ignorant as per the Shastra. So sleeping times generally are when the sun sets and when the first prahar of the day, the Brahma Muhurat, which is 4 o'clock in the morning, these are the sleeping times. After sunset and till 4 a.m. in the morning. You can choose your time. Someone who sleeps after the Brahma Muhurat is still okay, but then it's the next prahar, which is till 4 to 7 a.m. And someone who sleeps after 7 a.m. is considered to be ignorant, is in the tamas mode. Someone who sleeps between 4 to 7 is considered to be rajas mode. So he's in the rajasic mode. He's passionate. So because he wakes up at 7 and starts working straight away. And someone who wakes up after 7 o'clock is considered mode of ignorance, that he doesn't care. The Sattvic, which is 4 to 7, he doesn't care. Rajasic, which is 4 after 7, that time, and after 7, so he is considered in tamas mode. So Kumbhakarna had tamasic qualities. They're not qualities, but termed as qualities, but bad qualities. Tamasic is bad. So drinking alcohol, eating a lot of meat, sleeping over the times which are not, authorized to sleep. These are all tamasic activities. So he was tamasic. Did I answer your question, Sushma?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes,
Also,
Kalpesh.
Prabhuji, to wake up Kumbhakarna, people had to beat drums and do all sorts of activities.
Yeah,
Whereas, I mean, he was like dead sleep basically. But then Arjun
yeah.
was always, aware of his sleep, and he was
He was
also
doing the same thing what people do today, snoozing.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So the alarm does go off in the morning, but we snooze it. Yeah. That is an action derived from Kumbhakarna. Yeah. So he was in the mode of ignorance, whereas Arjun was in the mode of goodness. So mode of goodness means that you do things at the correct time, the right time. So you wake up at the time, you work at the time of work, and you sleep the time of sleep. And you eat what is required to be eaten. So if you are scheduled or regulated in that way, then slowly you become in the mode of goodness, which is very good for spiritual practices. Okay. All right. So we'll go to 1.25 now. Thanks for the question, Sushma. So 1.25 is when Krishna brought Arjuna in the middle of the two armies. So he brings him in front of two people. I'll highlight those names here. Can someone read it?
Bhishma, Drona.
Yeah. So it is Bhishma and Drona. Yeah. And you see this. What does this mean? Pramukhataha. Yeah. It means in front of. So Krishna brings Arjun right in front of Drona and Bhishma. Okay. And why does he do that? Why does Krishna bring him right in front of them?
Because Prabhuji, these are the two people who loved and were very fond of Arjuna.
Very nice. Very nice. And there is one more reason.
Can I say
Yes,
something?
Kalpesh. Yes, yes.
Something different. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, Krishna asked Arjun to do something for him. So
Krishna asked Arjun to do something
sorry.
for him.
Arjun asked Krishna to do something for him.
What did
That
he do? What did he say to do?
to bring him in between the armies.
Correct.
But
For what? For what
so
he asked him to bring in the middle of the armies?
so Arjun can see who is.
How many times you tell him that I want to see? Or how many times this word see came in? I want to see, I want to see. Krishna said, yes, go see. How many times this has happened?
I don't know that part.
Yes, Abhijit, would you like to tell? Or Kshitij this time?
Four times.
3 to 4 times, yeah.
21 to 24 he has been saying, and what
Constantly
Arjun,
he's saying, correct,
yes,
exactly. So constantly saying, I
and
want to see, I want to see, I want to see. Who
and
wants to fight me? Yes, Abhijit.
so, and I think so the correct thing to say will be why Krishna got him in front of Bhishma and Drona, because Arjun in the previous verses said that take me in the middle of the army, I want to see who have come to fight me.
Correct.
So
Yes,
Krishna wanted to show him these guys are the ones whom you love and you are to fight these guys.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
not just fight but kill.
Yes. Yeah,
Kill them.
that is Kshatriya. So
Yeah, the pride and
fighting,
enjoyment.
fighting means to kill. So it's the war in those times was not a war to fight and just kill maximum soldiers and go back. No, or destroy their their infrastructure and go back. Not like today's wars, hiding and shooting. No, in those times it was a war that you and me are ready to fight. We will fight till one of us dies. That is the fight. Then the other person is won. That is Kshatriya, proper Kshatriya fight. So when they fight, someone has to die. So either you kill or you get killed. So Kshatriyas were ready for doing that, always anxious to do that. So they were naturally in that mode. So Krishna took him in front of Drona and Bhishma. First thing, because Arjun wanted to see who wants to fight me. They want to fight you. Okay. So that is the answer to Arjuna's question, constant question of I want to see, I want to see. And he says in the same verse, I will share my screen. That just behold, Pashya, O son of Pratha, just behold, which is seeing. Assemble the members of Conan. So what he says is, in the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all the other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, just behold, just see, Partha, all of the Kurus assembled here. So these are the people who want to fight you. Go to the next verse. Now, this verse, I'll just go to the translation. There, Arjun could see within the midst of the armies, both parties, his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his fathers-in-law and well-wishers. So we have discussed this before. Who are those different levels? So grandfather level was Bhishma. Yes. Father's level, anyone? In the father's category for Arjun?
Vyasadeva,
Sorry, who's that?
Sushma,
Yeah, Sushma. Which character did you name?
Vyasadeva.
Yasadev or Vyasadev? Are you trying to say Vyasadev?
Sorry, yeah, Vyasadeva.
Okay, Vyasadev is in the same lineage as Bhishma. So Bhishma and Vyasadev were in the same generation. Do you know how? So Vyasadev was the son of anyone? Satyavati. Okay. Yes. And Dhritarashtra and Pandu, they were the sons of Vyasadev.
And also Vidur, right?
Correct, Vidur. They were all the sons of Vyasadev. So Vyasadev was in the lineage of grandfather for Arjun. But Vyasadev was he present at the battlefield, Sushma?
As per our earlier discussion, no.
Yeah. So who is Vyasadev? My question to you.
Just now we discussed like he's a son of Satyavati.
Yes. But what is his role in Mahabharata?
He's a
So this whole Mahabharata is written by Vyasadev. Am I correct in saying that? Everyone?
So it's composed by him.
Very nice, Randhir. Good pickup. And who wrote Mahabharata?
Ganpati, sir.
Lord Ganesh.
Very nice. Very nice. Good pickup. Very good, Randhir. So Lord Ganesha wrote the Mahabharata, and of course it was composed and narrated. Not narrated, actually, spoken. So it was spoken while he was speaking. It was written by Ganesh. So did you know the character of Vyasadev now, Sushma? What is his resemblance? What is his character? Yeah, so he said, he spoke the Mahabharata, the entire Mahabharata, and Lord Ganesha wrote it. And while writing, he was given instructions that you have to understand and write it, because he used to write very fast. So he was told to understand and write it. So he was writing it very quickly. It's so that his pen broke, the pen which he was writing with. So to keep up the speed, he took one of his tooth out and started continuing writing with that tooth. And that is the reason he's
So,
called Ekadanta.
Prabhuji,
Yeah, Randy.
so Vyasadev and Bhishma had the tragedy of watching their entire bloodline get destroyed.
Absolutely, yes. Well, Vyasadeva was an incarnation of the Lord because he knew everything in and out.
Right,
He was a sage by himself. But Bhishma, because he had some karmas, you see, everybody knows
Yes.
the karma which he had gone through previously, which were incorrect. What was the karma which he performed which was not righteous?
So Amba.
That is one. The other one, the major one, bigger than that.
I think that was something happened when he was in the heaven.
No, it was the time when he kept quiet when Draupadi was being disrobed. So for not performing the duty of a Kshatriya at the time when someone was coming to shelter, he had to see all this. He had to sleep on the arrows. Plus, he had to see everyone dying in front of him. Yeah. Okay. So, coming back to fathers. So, who are the fathers now, if not Bhishma or Vyasadeva?
Bhurishrava.
Who are the fathers?
Bhurishrava.
Bhurishrava. Who was Bhurishrava?
Somdatta's son.
Who was
Somdatta's
Somdatta?
son.
Bahalika's son.
Bahalika. So Bahalika was
Shantanu's brother.
Shantanu's
correct.
brother. Yeah.
So that level of Shantanu. So Shantanu was Bhishma's father.
Yeah.
Okay. So Bhishma's level was
Somadatta.
Somadatta. The Somadatta's son was Bhurishrava. So Bhurishrava was like a father's figure. Anyone else who was like a father's figure for Arjun?
Shakuni.
Yes, he was. Absolutely. Who else? He has his uncle also there
Yeah, his
fighting
maternal
against
uncle.
him. His name was Shalya.
Shalya.
Okay, so we have discussed that. Good. Teachers, which was Drona, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his father and his well-wishers. So this is all he saw. Okay, 1.27. What happens next? When son of Kunti, Arjun, saw all of these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. So we'll now continue from where we had left in the last year, 1.28. So we'll read from here. Please repeat after me. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Drishtvam.
Drishtvam.
Sorry, actually it is
Drishtvam.
Drishtvam.
Vemam.
Drishtvam.
Drishtvam.
Swajanam.
Swajanam.
Krishna.
Krishna.
Yuyutsum.
Yuyutsum.
Samupasthitam.
Samupasthitam.
Sidanti.
Sidanti.
Mama Gatrani.
Mama Gatrani.
Mukham.
Mukham.
Cha Parishushyati.
Parishyati.
We'll do a little faster. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
दृष्ट्वेमं स्वजनं कृष्ण
दृष्ट्वेमं स्वजनं
स्वजनं
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
युयुत्सुं समुपस्थितम्
युयुत्सुं
युयुत्सुं
समुपस्थितं
समुपस्थितं
सीदन्ति मम गात्राणि
सीदन्ति
सीदन्ते
मम
मम
गात्राणि
गात्राणि
मुखं च परिशुष्यति
मुखं च
मुखं च
परिशुष्यति
परिष्यते।
अर्जुन उवाच
अर्जुन
अर्जुन
उवाच
उवाच
दृष्ट्वेमं स्वजनं कृष्ण
दृष्ट्वेमं
दृष्ट्वेमं
स्वजनं
सजनं
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
युयुत्सुं समुपस्थितम्
युयुत्सुं
युत्सुं
समुपस्थितं
समुपस्थितं
सीदन्ति मम गात्राणि
सीदन्ति
सीदन्ते
मम
मम
गात्राणि
गात्राणि
मुखं च परिशुष्यति
Mukham
मुखं च
मुखं च
परिशुष्यति
परिशुष्यति.
Anyone would like to read the translation?
Arjun said, "My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up."
So, what happens in 1.27? Looking at everyone, he develops compassion. Arjun is developing compassion. What is compassion?
Karuna.
So, it is a kind of emotion. Yes. Okay, let's segregate the components in our body where we store different aspects or different things. So, where are the emotions stored in our body?
Mind.
Anyone else?
Subtle body.
Huh?
Subtle body.
Okay, mind, subtle body, which is the same. Okay, Naisha, you wanted to say something?
Heart chakra maybe, Prabhuji.
Heart. Very nice answer. It's the heart. So emotions are stored in the heart, and that is also the place of our soul. The Atma also resides within the heart, but it is not the material or the matter which we are talking about here. We are talking about the logical function here. So when someone says my heart is broken, it doesn't mean the actual heart which is pumping is broken. Okay, it means the emotions inside that heart have been hurt. Okay, so that is where the heart, sorry, that is where the emotions reside. So compassion and other emotions, they reside in the heart. So his heart was full of compassion. So that is generally the case. A devotee of the Lord carries compassion in his heart. And it is maintained. Yeah. What is an example, if you can give me, if someone is compassionate? Any example if someone has this compassion in his heart, like how it is displayed or how it is shown from someone?
Prabhuji, when somebody else we see in suffering or somebody who is in dire need of help, and we
Yeah.
feel the emotion, and try to help from our end, something like
Very
that.
nice. Yes, absolutely. So can that someone be a human or can it be any living entity?
Any living entity, Prabhuji.
Yes, very nice. So if you see people who are, nowadays, if you see, many people are turning to vegan. This is because they want to stop killing animals. So that is an emotion of compassion towards animals. So that is already there. you know, as a human tendency, that emotion of compassion is there. But what happens is that over a period of time, so if someone kills an animal for the first time, he feels some remorse in his heart. You feel a bit of a you know remorse, that a guilt that this is something wrong I have done. But if he does it again, the next time, that remorse is a little less. Third time, it is even lesser. Over a period of time, it is gone. Sometimes you see people talking to each other and cutting animals, just like if they're cutting vegetables. So it is not that the compassion is not given to us, it is there, but you have redone the sin so many times that the compassion is almost diminished now. So this is what happens with different emotions. So the emotions are there in the heart, especially who is surrendered to the Lord, or who's thoughtful about the Lord. The compassion is already there. So although the reason why I'm saying is that Arjun was a Kshatriya, he had killed people in the war. He had done that as a part of his duty, but he still had compassion, because killing in a war against enemies is different than killing someone for your own taste or for your own benefit. Whereas Kshatriya Dharma is to kill someone so that the people are protected from the enemies. That is what Kshatriyas are meant to do. Not kill someone for any reason. So in olden days also, in those eras, the king was supposed to make the decisions in terms of the law, in terms of concluding on some results of the law as well. So if there were some murderers, some criminals, he will by himself give the punishment to kill them. But that will be the criminal, not like today's law, that the cases go on and on. So there, that time they will kill, but they kill for the dharma, for the right thing. Criminals will be punished instantly. So that killing was there, but there was a reason for that killing, to maintain law and order, to give shelter to the needy. For that, they would fight and kill people, not for their own sake. So the compassion within Arjun still resides. He has compassion in his heart. So he doesn't want to kill unnecessarily, and especially his own people. So that compassion is coming out, being a devotee of the Lord, although being a Kshatriya. And also, how these emotions are being shaping up, how these emotions have been shaped up
Through the
after
senses.
looking at, sorry,
Through the senses, by looking.
through the senses. And what was the sense which was predominantly used in this case? It was
Sight.
Sight.
the eyes. Yes, sight. So he saw his near and dear ones, and the compassion developed, and thus he spoke after that what is happening to him now? What did he say in this verse? He says, my limbs of my body are quivering and my mouth is drying up. So his emotions from the heart are affecting his whole body. Now, why is such a dilemma here? Being a Kshatriya, being eager to fight, why are these emotions coming up? One, he is a devotee. Is there any other reason why this thing is happening to him? Yes, Abhijit.
So, being a devotee, he has the quality of the Lord also, and
Yes,
because of that, means even the Lord, the Kshatriya himself, he was also a Kshatriya.
compassionate.
But when it comes to looking at those who are devoted to him, he's always compassionate about his devotees. So,
Very nice.
so looking at his own people, or looking at all the people whom he loves, who have given him love, and getting those memories, he becomes compassionate because of the quality of the Lord inside.
Emotions. Yeah. So that is emotions and compassion, which is coming. That is one aspect. Correct. Very correctly said. Is there any other reason why he's so overwhelmed that his hands start shaking?
He has to fight with his own people.
He has to fight with his own people. Yes, that is compassionate. Yes, he's compassionate towards his own people. Absolutely right. So that is one aspect. Is there any other reason why he's feeling those hands shaking and limbs quivering, mouth drying up? Is there any dilemma?
He's crying. He's crying.
So sorry, what?
He is crying also.
Oh, he will cry eventually, but at the moment he is not. But he's saying that what is happening to him, his limbs are quivering and his mouth is drying up. So it is affecting him literally. So he's getting choked. Yeah.
As Prabhuji, it's mentioned in the purport anyway. His heart is basically the Daya Bhav is coming in his heart, not only
Yes.
for his relatives but for the soldiers in the opposite party, which will be unnecessarily be killed in the war.
Correct.
So the Daya Bhav is one of the quality which is seen in a devotee.
A devotee. Yeah. Correct. Absolutely. So compassion, Daya Bhav, which is the emotion which is coming from his heart. Absolutely right. That is one aspect. Is there any other aspect apart from compassion? As
Memories.
per you?
Purpose.
Sorry?
Purpose of
Prabhuji,
life.
Memories.
Yeah. Memories. Okay. Memories also are bringing emotions. That is also compassionate. He's beginning compassion. So compassion is one thing. Yes.
Prabhuji,
So
maybe
anything
he's
else?
thinking that why he's going for a war is the whole reason is to gain the materialistic benefits, or he said, I mean, I prefer to go to be a saint, and I don't want to win the entire empire,
Yeah. Good.
entire empire. Yeah.
Yeah. Good thought, Naisha. But what is that is happening to him? You are on the right track.
Hmm.
Is
We had
finding purpose
discussed.
of life.
He's
Yeah.
uh, he's comparing dharma and I think yeah, Kshatriya
You wanted.
dharma and
Okay. Okay. Kshatriya dharma
and
okay.
the
You were
right
saying
thing.
something. Sorry. Sorry, Naisha. And the right thing to do. Okay. What is Rishi? Wanted to say something?
Is it because he's sure that he's going to win?
He's sure he's going to win.
So he knows that he's going to,
Kill
all of these
everyone.
people he's seeing in front of them are going to die.
We're going to
And
die.
what he's saying
Yeah.
around his limbs quivering and is sort of like an expression of death
Yeah.
that will happen to
Yeah.
them.
No, he limb squaring and drying up is happening with him actually. So he's
But
expressing
it
it.
is also,
Yeah.
yes, but also because he knows he's going to kill all these people.
Kill everyone. Okay, that is also compassion. Yeah, you're right that he may be harming them, and that's what he's fearing for. That's also correct. But that is compassion again. So
Okay.
Naisha was partially right in terms of he not able to decide basically as to who is he. So he is not able to identify himself whether he is the grandson, a relative of these people, or whether he is a Kshatriya who has to fight this war, or whether he is a student of Drona, and whether he is the disciple of Krishna, which is going to become in some time, and he is confused to find his identity. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, we had discussed there are 5 factors. When we do any activity, these 5 factors are important. Anyone remembers what are
Is
the
it
five
5
factors?
or 4?
Who's that?
This is Sushma.
Yes, Sushma.
I feel it is the 5 factors that we have discussed earlier. Like, are we talking about the same Pratyaksha, Shabda, Anuman, and Vichar,
So
or something?
Pratyaksha, Shabda, Anuman, and Vichar, they are not about an act. Pratyaksha, Shabda, Anuman, and Vichar are for what? Are they for an act which is it is for karma, you're doing an activity, or are they for something else? Randhir will answer this, because he really understood that, sunk into him very nicely last time.
Sir, I came in a bit late today,
That's
so
all
I'm
right.
just trying to catch up.
That's okay. But what is Sushma saying is that pratyaksha, shabda, anuman and vichar, which we discussed, are for karma, for the act to be done and the result. Is it right, or were they for something else?
Uh, so, pratyaksha, shabd are the words. Pratyaksha is a. So, as I understand, is it was the vision, the words. Uh, what is the third one, sir? I can't pronounce it.
Okay. Anyone else? Sushma can pronounce for Randhir. Third
Yeah,
one.
it's Anuman and Vichar.
Right. So, estimation, but we need to avoid those, but we need to concentrate on the vichar, which is the thought process.
Was it estimation or speculation?
Speculation, sir. Sorry.
Correct. Okay. So what are all these for?
Inputs.
You tell me. You understood, right?
3 input, 1 output.
Okay. So what are these for? The reason why these, why were we discussing all these for? Why were we discussing these?
Self-knowledge.
Self-knowledge. Okay. For what?
Perception.
Self-knowledge for what? Perception is
Perception.
one. Perception and the thought process. Basically,
Yeah.
when you are, so are these before the act or while doing the act?
While doing the act. Perception
Before?
is what drives you to do the
Before.
act. But the thought,
So,
most people don't have the thought process to do the act.
very nice.
So it's a question
So,
of,
yeah. Please carry on. Yeah.
so it's like if you start something, you'll just pull the trigger, but you don't want to react to it afterwards to the, you don't want to do a cause and effect. You want to be out of that
So,
circle.
yeah. So what these 4 aspects are? What are these 4 aspects? They are for your thoughts, not the act itself. They are before. So when we do something, that time there are 5 factors involved. So I'm talking about when we do something. So Arjun here is going to kill, right? So he has already perceived, seen them, perceived and got emotions. So he has done the pratyaksha, done. Then he has already done the speculation, Anuman kar liya usne already. Yeah. And he has got the emotions, compassion aa gaya. So those things are done. But he has not acted as yet. My question is, when you act, what are the 5 factors involved during the act? Is my question clear now, Sushma?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those factors which you brought up, they are correct, but they are not a part of an act. They are before it, which Arjun has already gone through.
Okay.
But Prabhuji,
Yes.
if he's gone through Anuman, right, and he's talking about he's getting emotional, that means where does Vichar come in?
Because he has not heard the Shabda yet. So he has only gone through 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Shabda is
Thank
going
you.
to come from Krishna. Shabda is the Bhagavad Gita. We have to wait for it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. So he has only done those aspects of pre-act. So I'm talking about what are the factors involved in the act, in the karma, when we do something. So the first thing involved in that is our body, because we have to use our body to the senses basically. Yeah. So body, not the senses, sorry, but the body, the whole machinery is required. Yeah. To do the act. Next is the identity. What is the identity? That who am I? Am I a doctor? Am I an engineer? Yeah, you can't go to the engineer and say I have a throat pain. Yeah, you can't. You have to identify, and then the act will happen. So identification is very important. Correct? When someone does an act. So body, identification. Third is the instruments. That is the senses which we use to do the act. Yeah. Third. Fourth is the effort or the endeavor we put in to the act. Yes. Now, why are we doing all this? To get the results that we want, right?
So
Exactly, right?
motivation is the fifth.
No, fifth is Daivam.
Okay.
So that is Krishna. So if that is not there, fifth is not there, and that is based on your previous past karma. So you get that Daivam based on the previous. So today I'm lifting my hand, but one day I may not be able to lift it because I won't have enough karma left. I'm using the body, using the senses, efforts also are there. Yeah, identity is also there that I'm the same person. I want to lift my hand. I can't because I'm too old now. Not much karma left. Not one energy left. Done. Your life is over. You can't do this. So, Daivam, the mercy, the Krishna effect, final. So this is explained in a verse. I'll share it with you. So I'm not talking by Anuman. I'm talking by Shabda. Krishna says. So it is 18.14. I'll share my screen with you. So please repeat after me. This is Bhagavad Gita chapter 18 verse 14. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Adhishthanam tatha karta
Adhishtanam tatha karta.
Adhishtanam tata
Adhishtanam tatha
karta.
karta.
karanam cha prat ga va dham.
Karanam
Karanam
cha
Karanam
Karanam
cha
cha
Gautam.
pravidhunam.
Vividhascha prathak chesta
Vividhascha
Vividhascha
pratyaksheshta
pratakshesta
daivam chaivatra panchamam.
Devam
Daivam
Chaivatra panchamam.
Chaivatra Panchamam.
The place of action, the body, the performer, the identity, the various senses, the many different kinds of endeavor or the effort, and ultimately the super soul, Paramatma or Devam. These are the 5 factors of action. So Arjuna, what problem he is having at the moment in doing the, he has the body of a Kshatriya. Yes, correct. What is happening to him? Senses are not with him, right? The third number, senses. Limbs are quivering. Limbs are our senses, right? Throat is drying up, one of the senses, right? So why is the third thing happening to him? Because the second one is missing. The identity is missing. He can't identify himself as whether he is a Kshatriya to fight, whether he's a son, whether he's a grandson, whether he's a father, whether he's a grandfather. Who's he? He doesn't know. He's confused. And that is pretty much our problem when we do any activity. Our problem is the same. We are not able to identify ourselves. And identification is only possible when you know the purpose of the act. Does it make sense? Is it too deep, or are you able to understand this? Yes, Rishi.
Is it right to say he's not able to identify, or is he wrongly identifying himself with
So
things?
he is not saying it, but what situation he is in, after seeing everyone, maybe he's misunderstanding himself, maybe he's not able to identify himself at all.
Or
So
he,
when Krishna
yeah.
starts speaking, the first thing he will try to fix is his identification, which we will come to know in chapter 2. Yeah, you were saying something, Rishi.
Then I was just saying, is it because he's attaching himself with the family and everything? So he is identifying, but he's identifying with the thing that is not aligned with his purpose.
Very correctly said. But the only difference is that he's not attaching with himself with the family, he's attaching himself with the body.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So when we attach ourselves with the body, consider that we are the body, then we start relating ourselves with all the relatives,
Everything
people,
flows from there. Yeah.
memories, everything is in the body. Now, for example, like when I talk about